Tim May, 97.1 The Fan, and the Tim May Show. And Tim, spring practice just around the corner, March 17th. It is literally here. Now, Coach Ryan Day told me the other day that the quarterback race is wide open, that it is a three-man race between Julian Sayin, Lincoln Kienholz, and Tavian St. Clair. Just out the bat. You believe that's the case?
Yeah, I believe it's the case only because, show me what you got. It's time for all those guys. Obviously, Tavian St. Clair is just out of Bell Fountain High School. So show them what you got in the spring. I mean, there's no hard and fast, I don't think, pecking order going into it. Everybody believes Julian Sayin is the man to beat. I believe Julian Sayin is the man to beat. The transfer from just transferred from Alabama this time a year ago and got in on some plays in the fall, but didn't really do anything that really excited you from the standpoint of watching him. But he is considered one of the best prospects to come out in the last several years at quarterback. And then Tavian St. Clair is one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks this year. And Lincoln Kienholz is a project, but Lincoln Kienholz is a tremendous athlete.
All right, let's start with Julian Sayin. And as we stand here now, you think he has the inside track. What makes him, I don't know, break him down, why is this guy so good? He's not the biggest guy.
Well, here's the thing, Dom. You and I both know we've seen very little of him. I mean, obviously we don't get to watch practice on a daily basis, et cetera. You're going off what a lot of people have said about him. I mean, just a super live arm. Ball jumps out of his hand, number one. Number two, he was great in the Elite 11. He was obviously Nick Saban handpicked him to be perhaps the next quarterback at Alabama until Nick Saban suddenly retired. So he has a lot of pedigree in terms of people thinking he's pretty good, but he's got to prove it on the field. But of the 3 that we're talking about, he's the only one who's played. Right. So Lincoln Kienholz has played a little and got thrown into the. Right. We'll talk about him in a minute. But the bottom line is, you just look at the pecking order from last year, you got to think he's first in line.
Lincoln, as you mentioned, he's an incredible athlete, highly recruited. Ryan Day recruited this kid. I have said to people, don't sleep on this guy. He has been in the program now a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, and I keep going back to this. He's a tremendous athlete. If he ever puts it all together in terms of playing the quarterback position, he could be somebody to watch. I mean, that's why you don't ever erase somebody if, in fact, they're still there. And, in fact, it looks like the coaches wanted him to still be there, if you follow my drift.
Well, yeah, that's a question I wanted to ask. The fact that he is still there, what does that tell you?
Well, it tells you somebody whispered in his ear, hey, you know what, you got a shot here. Was anything guaranteed? Absolutely not. But the bottom line is it just tells you they've put a lot into him already and maybe want to reap some benefits.
Tavian St. Clair, just a freshman out of Bell Fountain. Can you imagine, I mean, Art Schleister did it. Can you imagine a freshman starting at Ohio State, especially in today's day and age?
Maybe under some circumstances. But here's the thing. I mean, Tavian has a lot to prove, too, on this level. I mean, he's coming from kind of mid-range high school competition and stuff. But, man, does he look the part. I remember going up there and talking to him for an hour or so a couple of years ago when he first committed to Ohio State. I think he's got the headspace to play this game at this level. He's certainly got the body. He certainly looks the part, and he can throw the ball. So, there are all kinds of reasons why that could. I mean, we saw Dylan Raiola have his ups and downs at Nebraska last year. We'll see where that goes. But whenever you start a freshman at quarterback, you're going to be giving up a few things.
All right, look in your crystal ball. Ryan Day told me the other day that they're going to need all 3 of these guys, and they learned.
Of course.
They played 16 games this season, and who knows how many they'll play next year. With that said, what are the chances he names a starter coming out of the spring, or does this go into the fall?
I think it goes into the fall, barring injury or something, some kind of weird development we're not thinking about right now. But, boy, you talk about knock on wood. Will Howard started 16 games in major college football last year and led them to the national championship those last 4 games. That's rare in this age. And, you've got to have a pair and a spare, so to speak, as Archie Griffin used to say about tailback. But you've definitely got to have that at quarterback. And I would think that, Ohio State might be in the market for a transfer in the spring just to beef up that room.
Defensive coordinator Jim Knowles is gone. Longtime NFL coach Matt Patricia is the new defensive coordinator. He helped the Patriots win 3 Super Bowls, serving as a defensive coordinator for Bill Belichick. They were very close What do you think of this hire?
I think it's intriguing, and some people were poo-pooing it when it was basically first rumored and then announced because of his failings as a head coach at Detroit. But Detroit was had a lot of problems going on out there other than their head coach. But the bottom line is he's proven himself as a quite capable defensive coordinator and assistant coach for more, one another term. I mean, heck, Bill Belichick brought him back and he ended up calling offensive plays for them. I think Bill Belichick's last year at New England. So the bottom line is I think it's a tremendous hire because it adds to the think tank. And we talked about this on this show several weeks ago about the fact that you've got Tim Walton sitting there who's been a defensive coordinator in the NFL, and Matt Guerrieri, and of course James Laurinaitis and Larry Johnson. So you've got quite the brain trust there in the defensive room.
He has primarily been an NFL coach, was, as you mentioned, head coach of the Lions. What do you think the draw was for him? Because he's been an NFL guy. Why come to college? And what do you think intrigued him about Ohio State?
Number one, it's the defending national champion. Number two, it's loaded talent-wise. It will be again this year, although they've got replacing 8 starters on the defensive side of the ball. It's still loaded from a talent situation. Number three, he needed a job. He was shopping for a coordinator's job or some kind of job in the National Football League all through the month of January. And I even watched an interview with him on the NFL Network. But the bottom line is he brings a lot to the table in terms of experience, in terms of attraction from the standpoint of if you're a defensive player out there that Ohio State's recruiting, you have a chance to play for a guy who was just recently a defensive coordinator in the National Football League. That's intriguing, I think, from a recruiting standpoint.
He's 50 years old. What kind of change? I mean, Ryan Day, even when he hired Jim Knowles, he said, this is Ohio State's defense. This is not Jim Knowles' defense.
Correct.
Does Ohio State's defense change with this guy? Does he put in whole changes, or does he just kind of fine-tune what's there now?
Now, you got to say this. When Ryan Day hired Jim Knowles, now at Penn State, when he hired him, he wanted some changes made.
Right.
He wanted a more aggressive look, a little more unpredictable look. And as it went along over 3 years, it transformed into the best defense in the country. With Matt Patricia's one of his great hallmarks is the ability to adapt the defense to the offense you're playing, meaning attack what they do best, take it away, et cetera. And, you've got to be able to do that in the National Football League, which shows a lot of flexibility. And I think he's got like I said earlier, a very talented staff. I mean, there was some conjecture going around that Ryan Day was having some kind of face-to-face meeting with Larry Johnson to you either get on board or get off. I mean, that's totally erroneous. I mean, whenever you bring in a new guy to the staff, you want to make sure everybody is on board. They don't make that decision, but I think this is a staff that could work extremely well together.
You and I know Ryan Day very well. He has said to me in the past he wants to be involved with the offense.
Yeah.
Hiring this guy, a 50-year-old guy that's been around the NFL, he's been a coordinator, won 3 Super Bowls. He's going to have a young quarterback this year, Ryan Day, and he's going to want to spend time with them.
Yes.
Is the hope, do you think, and I don't know if he'll say this or not, but hiring this guy, hopefully he doesn't have to worry about the defense and he can focus on the offense.
Right, but we all saw when
no, I know that.
We all saw when Ryan Day stepped in and asserted himself after the game at Oregon last year on certain things he wanted to see in the defense. And he got that out of Jim Knowles, and they went on to be the best defense in the country the last half of the season. Yeah, there's a certain confidence you have in a guy that the job, the work is going to get done. But, I think Ryan Day has transformed into quite the head coach over the last couple of seasons.
I agree.
And he will definitely have his eye on it. I mean, Bill Fessler, the new quarterbacks coach, he basically worked with Will Howard all year last year and stuff. So he has confidence on that side of the ball also.
Let me ask you this. Tim Walton will be the co-defensive coordinator. Matt Guerrieri will be the passing game coordinator.
Yeah.
How will that play out? What will they do?
I was asked one time when you had an associate head coach, an assistant head coach, and a head coach, hey, who takes over if this guy gets sick, And it was like kind of muddy water was the answer I got. They will all be involved. And, a lot of times these titles, too, or justification for giving a guy a pretty good raise. So that's part of the deal too. But Ryan Day demands in his staffs that everybody be involved from an idea standpoint.
Right.
Bring something to the table every meeting. I'm not. I've never heard him say that, but I know that's what he wants.
Last thing, you mentioned it earlier, Larry Johnson, and I think Ryan's got a heck of a defensive staff. I think James Laurinaitis was amazing, but Larry Johnson, he was under the crosshairs of some and whatever. He's not going anywhere, is he?
No, I mean, he's older than me, Dom. But the bottom line is,
I go back to what Ryan Day said at the national championship celebration. He gave great praise to Larry Johnson.
Of course he did.
Said he was the best defensive line coach in the country.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was, people were trying to get him fired all first half of the year last year and stuff. Obviously, the defensive front became dominant in the playoffs. Dominant, Dom. And now they're going to have 4 new starters up front this year, which is going to be an interesting thing to watch or develop as the spring goes and then preseason goes. But the bottom line is Larry Johnson has coached some of the best, and he is basically the GOAT or one of the best in the nation at his job. I mean, I don't think there's any argument about it.
Chip Kelly is gone. Brian Hartline is the new offensive coordinator. Ryan Day told me he's going to call the plays this fall. Coach Day says he's earned this opportunity, and he feels that he is ready for this move. Your take on the move?
I like it a lot. I liked it 2 years ago when Ryan first named him offensive coordinator, but, Ryan got cold feet about the situation as spring and preseason went along. But the bottom line is Brian Hartline's been around. He's almost as old as Ryan, but he's been in the National Football League. We know his recruiting prowess. We know he knows offense. He's been quite involved in the passing game development at Ohio State over the last many years, and I think it makes sense. Sometimes it just becomes time, and I think it's time for Brian Hartline.
He was an outstanding player. He kind of came up through the ranks, started with Urban. He learned under Ryan. He learned under Chip Kelly, what a mentor he could be. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for Brian?
It is a difference when you step up and now you become the play caller because you have more on your plate than just getting your wide receivers in the right spot at the right time, et cetera, in recruiting. But the bottom line, he's been pretty much involved with this for quite a few years. I mean, very much a voice in that offensive room. Chip Kelly raved about him when he was here and what Brian brought to the table. But the bottom line is play calling is still it's not you're just pulling plays, like I say, out of your back pocket. From sometimes maybe you do that, but it's your offensive staff, your head coach, et cetera. They're all involved in developing the game plan for a game, plays you'd like to run on first down, second down, third down situations, et cetera. So he'll just be basically looking at that list and getting a feel for the game and what he thinks is best for that moment. Now, you talk about frying pan into the fire. You open with Texas.
Yeah.
And so that will be definitely what do you want to call it, test under fire.
It'd be interesting to hear from him, but we assume he'll be in the booth this fall. I mean,
well, who knows?
I guess you can call him from the field. Ryan did that. What do you think?
I think Ryan would probably prefer his offensive coordinator be in the booth because you get to see the whole picture. You get to have some really whatever you want to call it, civil conversations with people instead of maybe the drama that goes on the sidelines on occasion and stuff. But we'll see as that develops. I mean, it'll be up to Ryan and Brian.
Ryan, very high on Keenan Bailey, co-offensive coordinator, tight ends coach. What do you think his role is going to be?
What it's been, coaching the tight ends, but also, Tyler Bowen, the new offensive line coach, obviously has a great background in coaching tight ends and stuff. But it's just more responsibility for Keenan Bailey, a guy who has proven to be quite the loyal member of this Ohio State coaching staff for almost 10 years now. And we've seen him grow up from like a GA to his responsibilities now. But he will be, involved. Everybody in that offensive meeting room is involved, Dom. You and I sat in on one of those meetings one time, remember? That was being run by Ryan. But they go through they run through quite the gauntlet to get a play on the field.
They also get Tyler Bowen, as you mentioned, out of Virginia Tech.
Yes.
He's going to be the offensive line coach. run game coordinator, but I believe he called plays at Virginia Tech. He's been a coordinator.
Yeah.
How will this shake out? And I don't know. I mean, this is another guy that Brian Hartline can lean on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, and the bottom line is they brought in a couple of program assistants to help in that offensive line coaching also, or at least they haven't announced them yet. But that'll be interesting to watch how that whole offensive line room develops. But Tyler Bowen's been around the block, man. And, Urban hired him as his tight ends coach at Jacksonville way back in whenever that was, 2021, whatever it was, Dom. Maybe Urban wants to remember it, maybe wants to forget. But the bottom line, he's been around. He's been at Ohio State. I mean, he played. He was a pretty good player. So I think Ryan is trying to get more and more brains into the operation. And Tyler Bowen, I think that was a tremendous hire because he's already proven himself on the recruiting front.
Right. Billy Fessler, Chip Kelly, very high on him.
Yeah, so is Ryan Day.
Yeah, and Ryan's going to make him the quarterback coach. Thoughts on him, and we can expect, you and I both know Ryan, he's going to be involved with the quarterback too because you're going to have a youngin', whoever it is, they're not going to, they're going to make their first start against Texas.
Yeah, with quarterbacks, you want them. You want a lot of people watching them, but you only want one or two guys really talking to them. You know what I mean? You don't want getting them having mixed messages coming in and going. And Billy Fessler was around last year, obviously, and before that was at Akron, but has proven himself as a capable quarterback coach. I mean, Will Howard, just ask him about him and what he brought to the table this past year when Will Howard emerged as the best quarterback in the country the last 4 games of the year. So, and he's working with some clay there. Billy Fessler is with the 3 quarterbacks he'll be working with, Julian Sayin, Tavian St. Clair, and Lincoln Keenholz. So I think a lot of people are going to be watching the development at that position.
Last thing, this is a young offensive staff. You like that?
Yeah, it's interesting because
I think 38 is the oldest, other than, of course, Coach Day.
Yeah, but you've got a mature now head coach, running the show. And you've got guys that have been, like I said, I use that cliche, but have been around the block and been on some good teams and not so good teams. So it's going to be interesting to watch as this develops. I mean, Brian Hartline played football at Ohio State. His first coaching was at Ohio State. Now he's developed into your offensive coordinator. There's nothing wrong with that. It sounds good to me from a resume standpoint. But these other guys are bringing in, like I've always referred to it, bringing in the pollen from, like Tyler Bowen. He's been around the block, and he's bringing in some pollen from some other places to just, sprinkle on what's going to be an interesting offensive line development. And obviously a running back, brand new running backs. Carlos Loughlin, do not discount what that guy brought to the running back room, hired in the middle of the spring last year.
Yeah.
And, man, that might have been the hire of the year.
Great stuff. Tim May, check him out, 97.1 The Fan on YouTube, The Tim May Show.